Hello, I'm Hirani Sandanika, and today's my topic of explanation is about the innate immunity. So, I'm pleased to explain you this topic from the platform of Synth Biotechnologist Association. In this lecture, I'm going to cover what is innate immunity, components of innate immunity, complement system, how innate immunity responds to pathogens, how innate immunity triggers adaptive immunity, and microbial evasion of innate immunity. First, we'll see what is innate immunity. So, as I explained before in my first lecture, innate immunity is the first defense in our immune system, which is also known as early defense. It is also known as natural or naive immunity, as each and every individual owns this immunity. The cells and molecules which are responsible for innate immunity make up the innate immune system. So, in this picture, it describes some major features of innate immunity. Mainly, our innate immune system is responsible for reactions like inflammation, antiviral defense, etc. So, in inflammation reaction, it is founded that the accumulation and the activation of leukocytes and plasma proteins at the site of infection takes place here. Right. At the same time, the defense against intracellular viruses is mediated by natural killer cells. As well as that, our innate arm response is essentially the same way to repeat encounters with the microbe. Simply, our innate arm doesn't remember previous encounters with microbes and cannot keep that in its mind. Our innate immune system can recognize structures that are shared by various causes of microbes and are not present on normal host cells. Other than that, the components of innate immunity have involved to recognize structures of microbes that are often essential for the survival and ineffectivity of these microbes. Also, it can recognize molecules which are released from damage to necrotic host cell. And there are some more features like our innate arm receptors are encoded by inherited genes that are identical in all cells, and this doesn't react against the normal host. So these are some main features that I need to discuss with you today under this slide. And now we move on to our next slide. As you all know, our innate arm consists with different components like epithelial barriers and phagocytes. So we will see about these components and their functions one by one. Epithelial barriers are the major borders between external environment and the internal body. All our skin, gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract, and genitourinary tract are protected by these continuous epithelia. This epithelia provides both physical and chemical barriers against pathogens. In this image, it shows this process clearly. In here, epithelia act as physical barrier for infection, as well as that our epithelia can kill microbes by locally produced antibiotics like this way, and also it can kill microbes and infected cells by intraepithelial lymphocytes like this image shows, right? Then when we talk about phagocytes, these are another major type component can be found in our innate arm. Phagocytes are neutrophils, monocytes, which also known as macrophages. So neutrophils are the most abundant type of leukocytes in the blood. If our body infected with a foreign substance, the production of neutrophils from bone marrow increases rapidly. These neutrophils from bone marrow are produced as a result of cytokine production by our immune cells in response to foreign antigen. Monocytes are least abundant in the blood than neutrophil. When these monocytes in the circulation enters to the extravascular tissues, they are differentiate into macrophages. Macrophages act as antigen present in cells, which can stimulate our adaptive arm for further immune reactions by secreting cytokines like interleukins, right? And there are also some kinds of cells like dendritic cells, mast cells, innate lymphoid cells like natural killer cells, and helper T cells. This image shows how those cells bond and differentiate according to the place where they enter. In here, all the cells born in bone marrow as hematopoietic stem cells and differentiate into monocytes or dendritic cell precursors. Then they enter to the blood and differentiate as monocytes. When they enter to the body tissues, they are macrophages. Likewise, during early development, these cells differentiate into microglia cells when they enter to the brain. These cells known as Cooper cells when they are in liver. When they are in lungs, they are known as alveolar macrophage. And when they are in spleen, they are also known to be sinusoidal macrophages. These are some cytokines released by different cells in innate term. Tumor necrosis factor, which are released by macrophages and T cells, and interleukin, chemokines, interleukin 12, then interferon gamma, type 1 IFNs, interleukin 10, interleukin 6, interleukin 15, interleukin 18, and TGF beta. These are secreted by different types of cells, like this table shows. And then we are moved on to the next slide, that is on about complement system. When talk about our complement system, it is a collection of circulating and membrane associated proteins that are important in defense against microbes. This complementary system composed of complement proteins, which are proteolytic enzymes, right? These proteins are important in defense against pathogen. So these complement cascade in our body activated by these three kinds of pathways, like alternative pathway, classical pathway, and lectin pathway. In alternative pathway, it is stimulated as a result of the activation of some complement proteins on microbial surfaces and cannot be controlled, as complementary regulatory proteins are not present on microbes and they are only present in host cells. In classical pathway, it is stimulated by antibodies which are bind on microbes or other antigens, and hence it is a component of the humoral arm of our adaptive immunity. In lectin pathway, it is activated by as a result of carbohydrate binding plasma protein. Mannose binding lectins bind to terminal mannose residues on the surface of glycoproteins. So after these complement systems are activated, it leads to the production of C3b, which initiates the late step of complement activation. Then the peptide byproducts released during these complement activation processes are the inflammation inducing C3a, right? When this C3b binds to microbes, opsonization and phagocytosis like things takes place. After that, C5a activates the inflammation, and in the late step, C6a responsible for the lysis of microbes. Under this subtopic, we will discuss how innate immunity responds pathogens. First, pathogens come and enter to our body by crossing epithelial barriers. After they enter to our body, our innate arm activated. In here, after they enter to our subepithelial tissues, antigen presenting cells like dendritic cells and macrophages and also other cells recognize these pathogens and respond to them by secreting different cytokines. There are two types of cytokines like interleukin 1 and TNF, which can act on endothelium of venules near the site of infection and induce the activation of leukocytes, migration to tissues, and activate adaptive arm. After the activation of innate immunity, these innate immune cells activated and pass signals to the adaptive arm. Then the CD8 cells, B cells, CD4 cells, regulatory T cells, and natural killer cells are activated. In here, when pathogens enter to innate arm, macrophages identify it and engulf them. After that process, they release interleukin 6, TNF alpha, and interleukin 1 cytokines and trigger other nearby cells like dendritic cells, neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, natural killer cells to react against those pathogens and to activate adaptive immunity arm by sending signals to them. Then both of these arms get activated and fight against those entered microbial pathogens to destroy them. If our immune system fails to destroy those entered pathogens, it will be huge damage to our body. There are some pathogens who can invade our immune system by different mechanisms. As examples, pneumococci type of organism have capsule polysaccharide which inhibits phagocytosis. So they are resistant to phagocytosis. Some staphylococci, they produce catalase which break down reactive oxygen intermediates, and hence they are resistant to reactive oxygen intermediates in phagocytes. As well as that, some Neisseria types, they express sialic acids, which are responsible for inhibition of C3 and C5 convertase and not further activate the complement system. Like that way, streptococci released M proteins that block C3 binding to organism and C3b binding to complement receptors, which led to the resistance to complement activation, mainly the alternative pathway. Finally, some organisms like Pseudomonas also synthesize modified lipopolysaccharides, which resist action of peptide antibodies, lead to resistant to antimicrobial peptide antibiotics. Likewise, using these kinds of mechanisms, pathogens can hide from our defense system and evade our innate immunity. So these are the things that I need to discuss with you under this second lecture. I think you gained some knowledge about our innate immunity. So you can refer these two articles to learn more details about our innate immunity. So if you have any queries, you can add a comment on the comment section. So thank you for your time.